Massachusetts Turnpike.
The Home Run Derby, tonight on ESPN at 7 Eastern, is one of the two main co-events of the All-Star Weekend. That and, of course, the main All-Star Game. But the Home Run Derby is a lot newer than the All-Star Game. The All-Star Game has been around since 1933, starting in Comiskey Park, out in Chicago, Illinois. But the Home Run Derby has been officially sanctioned by MLB as an All-Star Game festivity since 1985, first happening in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The winner of that was Dave Parker, who then was playing for the Cincinnati Reds. He won the Home Run Derby with 6 homers. Now keep in mind, the event back then was a lot different than it is now. Back then it was a 2-inning format where they would get 5 outs instead of 3. Whereas, of course, now it's timer and all. But the event has gone on and had a lot of different looks over the years, being the most popular in the 90s and 2000s, not because of the rules, but because of the steroid era, where homers were going 400 to 500 feet almost every time it left the bat. And it was really exciting. The steroid era brought the people back to baseball by way of the mammoth home runs and the steroid era, and the Home Run Derby was just a product of that. But since then, the Home Run Derby has kind of dwindled in popularity, and MLB has done quite a bit to tweak the rules with it to make it popular and fresh again. However, it hasn't always worked. In 2015, they added a timer, a 3-minute timer, instead of the outs system that was used before, to try to pick up the pace and make it quicker. And if I'm not mistaken, that was the ever first instance of instituting a clock in the game of baseball. But they did that, and of course, it does make more homers happen, and it keeps it, I guess, a quicker pace. But the problem is it goes so fast that you can't really enjoy any one of the homers, because right after that one's hit, another one is hit, and then another one is hit. Just goes by way too quickly. But this year they're trying to change it a little bit. There's new rules. Now, in addition to the 3-minute clock, there's also a 40-pitch maximum in the first and second rounds. Whichever comes first, that 3-minute timer or 40-pitch maximum is how it will go. Another thing they did this year is they got rid of the seeding format for the first round. Now it's just whoever hits the most homers, the top 4 spots, moves on to the semifinal. Those are some of the newer big rules. Another new rule is that for the overtime extra ball period, now instead of there being a 30-second timer, there is a 3-out system, kind of a retro look, going back to the original ways the Home Run Derby was run. But if you hit a homer over 425 feet in the primary part of the round, then you will get an additional out, make it 4 outs. Now, as far as tiebreakers are concerned, in the first round, the tiebreaker will go to the person who hit the longer homer, but in the second and final rounds, the tiebreaker will go to a 60-second swing-off, and then if that doesn't resolve the tie, it'll subsequently go to a 3-pitch swing-offs until someone wins. Now, in the final round, it is a 2-minute timer or a 27-pitch maximum, and there's still the overtime component as well. But those are all the major changes going into it for this year. This year, the 8 contestants are Gunnar Henderson of the Baltimore Orioles, Marcell Ozuna of the Atlanta Braves, Jose Ramirez of the Cleveland Guardians, Alec Bohm of the Philadelphia Phillies, Bobby Witt Jr. of the Kansas City Royals, Teoscar Hernandez of the Los Angeles Dodgers, next the hometown contestant Adolis Garcia of the Texas Rangers, and lastly the 2-time champion featured in the Home Run Derby for the 6th consecutive time. That is Pete Alonso of the New York Mets, looking to win a 3rd Home Run Derby title to tie Ken Griffey Jr. for most Home Run Derby titles all time. Now the winner, along with the trophy, wins $1 million, and second place wins $500,000, and the rest of the contestants each win $150,000 for participating. Also, whoever hits the longest homer wins an additional $100,000. Comment below who you think is going to win the Home Run Derby, and as always, like and follow for more.